All right, pre-calc, here we are. This is assignment number 3. Some of you have turned in nothing. Some of you have turned in some stuff. I think I've got about 3 or 4 assignments from 2 or 3 of my wonderful pre-calc kids. So this will help you with assignment number 3. I put two different styles of questions up on the board. Question number 22 from assignment number 3 is similar to what you've seen on the first 2 assignments, with your solving an exponential equation when you have variables on both of the equations, on both of the sides. Okay, we're going to have to solve this using logs. I'm actually going to use ln. Okay, ln for me is a lot easier to write than log. And then we have our Euler's number problems, which are actually become quadratics once we get them set up. So we're going to do 26 and then 29. All of these are from assignment number 3. Okay, so to begin with, remember an exponential equation, we would normally try and get a common base. We cannot get a common base. So we have to take the log or ln of both sides. And remember, when you take the ln of both sides, take the ln, the exponent goes in front. Okay? And then, so that because this exponent is a binomial expression, use parentheses. Now, in the notes that I have written out that you have seen, ln of 5, ln of 4 is just some god-awful decimal that's on your calculator. Okay? Some of the videos that I sent to you to look at, some of the folks change these to decimals. I don't want you changing those to decimals until the very, very, very last step. Because if I want my answer rounded to the nearest thousandth or 10,000ths, that means these decimals have to be carried out even more. That's too much work. Okay, leave the ln's there. It's easy. This ln of 5 is some decimal. All we're going to do is distribute to each of those. When we distribute, we write it as x ln of 5. So it's saying x times the ln of 5. Plus, this is 2 times the ln of 5. So 2 is still the exponent. X is still the exponent, okay? But it's just, we write it out in this fashion now. Equals, same thing over here. We're going to distribute the ln of 4. 1 ln of 4 minus x ln of 4. And I don't need the 1 there, so I'm just going to erase the 1. Actually, I'll put it there, but when I rewrite it, we won't need it. Okay. So now what we did is we've taken an exponential equation and we've changed it to a linear equation. X's are on both sides. Numbers are on both sides. So we have that decision to make. What side do we want to put all the x's? Well, I'm going to take all of my x's and move them to the left, and that forces this 2 ln of 5 to move to the right. So it goes to the left, goes to the right, and I'm going to write them out. X ln of 5 plus x ln of 4 equals ln of 4, 1 ln of 4, I need the 1, minus 2 ln of 5. The method that I'm showing you for solving this is to, so the last step, we type it all into a calculator. Scientific calculator, graphing calculator, doesn't matter. I cannot combine these. That's an absolute no-no. The only thing that we can do is, they both have an x in common, we factor out the x. And over here we did nothing. So now this is saying x times some big ugly decimal. And so I'm dividing by the junk, both sides, by whatever is inside the parentheses. This cancels. X equals whatever our decimal value is. Okay? Now, this is just a matter of very, 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 very carefully typing into your calculator. When you type it into your calculator, you're going to start with an open parentheses. When you get after the 5, you have to close your parentheses. Then you're going to do divide, and then we do open parentheses, type it in exactly the way we see it, close parentheses. I'm going to show you on the scientific calculator that I have over here. Okay. So, open parentheses. ln of 4. Notice it gives me an open parenthesis, so I have to close that parenthesis. Minus 2 ln 5 close, close. That second close closes the entire top. Divided by open parentheses for the bottom. And I type in my ln of 5, close that parentheses, plus ln of 4, close, close, equals, there's our decimal value, there's the answer that we have on that answer sheet for question number 22. Okay? All right. Let me go show you how to solve number 26. Number 26 is an Euler's problem equation where you saw the notes on it, and there was a couple videos on solving this as well. This actually can be written as a quadratic, but we have to do a fancy step first. And that fancy step says, we pick our favorite letter, can't use X. We pick our favorite letter, I'm going to use the letter U, and I'm going to say U is equal to e to the power of X. Okay? So now it's just a substitution. Okay? Before I do my substitution, this negative x, e to the negative x, the only thing raising to the negative x power is the e. I'm going to rewrite that. So this is saying e to the x minus 6 over e to the positive x equals 1. Now I'm going to do my substitution. Wherever I see e to the x, I'm going to type in u. U minus 6 over u equals 1. That's a nice easy equation. There's no e's in there anymore, it's all a u, or whatever favorite letter you used. Lynn, you could use the letter L. Giantonia, G. Now, all I have to do is solve for u. This is a fractional equation. I'm going to multiply everything by u. So when I multiply everything by u squared minus 6 equals u. Multiply everything by u. That's a nice quadratic. Set this equal to 0. On this equation, we get lucky. This is factorable. Okay, some of the other ones on your sheet are not factorable, so you have to use the quadratic formula. Factoring it, u minus 3, u plus 2, so u equals 3 and u equals negative 2. So now these are the values for u. Now I'm going to do my substitution again. Remember, our job was to solve for x, not u. We used the u as a tool to get this x, this e to the x stuff all taken care of. So now I'm going to go rewrite again. So that u equals 3, we're going to write as e to the x equals 3. And then u equals negative 2, we're going to write e to the x equals negative 2. So I'm going to do this one first. Okay? I'm going to rewrite this. Remember, because it's raised to the e to the x, we're going to use our ln, taking the ln of both sides. Remember, e is Euler's number. So we're going to use ln. So it's x ln of e is equal to ln of negative 2. Now, if you remember in the notes, we cannot take the log of a negative number. So this side over here doesn't even exist. So there's no answer on this side. This one's done. Cannot take the log of a negative number. So ln of -2 is an error. So our only answer comes from here. So I'll take the ln of both sides. Remember, the x goes in front. And remember, from last year, as well as in the notes, ln of e is equal to 1. Remember that? ln of e is equal to 1. So this cancels out to a 1. So now I have x equals ln of 3, and I think I had you round off to the nearest thousandth. So all you gotta do is type it into your handy dandy calculator. Okay? So ln of 3, and then we have our 1.099. Okay, so that's how we did this one. Number 29 is done the exact same way. Where we're going to use that u equals e to the x. I picked my favorite letter u. Okay, so again, I'm going to rewrite this as 1 over e to the x. Do my substitution, u equals e to the power of x. So wherever I see e to the x, I'm going to write u. And here we have another quadratic. So I'm going to multiply everything by u. And I'm going to set it to 0. That is not factorable. We have to use the quadratic formula. Remember, here's your A, B, C. Remember your quadratic formula. Negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac. All over 2a. So I'm going to fill stuff in, square things out as I go along to make it faster. So u is equal to plus and minus, well, actually, 2, well, wait a minute, 5 plus and minus the square root of 25 minus 4 times 2 times 1 all over 2 times 2. So that gives us u is equal to 5 plus and minus the square root of 17 all over 4. Now all I have to do is go back and substitute in for u. I have two answers here. 5 plus the square root of 17 over 4, and then a 5 minus the square root of 17 all over 4. That's just calculator work. So e to the x is equal to the first u, 5 plus the square root of 17 all over 4, and then e to the x is equal to the second u, 5 minus the square root of 17 all over 4. Now it's just ln work and type it into a calculator. So x ln of e is equal to ln of that big ugly mess. And ln of e is equal to, right, that's 1. So x equals, and we just have to type that into the calculator. I'll show you how to do one of them in the calculator. It's easy to do. Be careful with your parentheses. And then I'm going to do the same thing over here. So I have x ln of E is equal to ln of 5 minus the square root of 17 all over 4. So, and again, x is equal to carefully typing that into the calculator. Okay, remember that's again equal to 1. Let me show you how to get that typed into your calculator. I'll do the minus one. So I have to do ln. Automatically gives me an open parentheses. I need another parentheses. And then I'm going to type in my 5 minus square root button. $17, close for the top, divide by 4, that closes everything. So there's my negative 5.18. So negative 1.518. And if you do the exact same thing for the plus, you should have 0.825. If you guys have questions, email me. If you want me to do another one, email me. Let me know. Very few have been doing your work. I need stuff done. Be safe. Hopefully we'll be back after break. We'll see.